Uh, 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 uh. Welcome back to episode 7 of 1 Billion Brave. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good morning. We're at episode 7, y'all. Like, what? Episode 7. For those of y'all that are Christians, y'all know 7 is God's favorite number. So we really about to get it in because 7, like, we done made it. Like, we're official, locked in, official. Okay, so let's start from the top. Welcome to another, let me do it professionally. Welcome to another episode of 1 Billion Brave, episode 7. I'm your host, Dōmo Jones. I am a disability confidence coach. Erica Jump, what's up? I love you. I am a disability confidence coach. I am an author. I got a few little businesses on the side, just living life like I should, like I could, like I want to, all that. This show is about disabilities, hosted by a person with a disability. I appreciate you guys taking your time out for joining in. Make sure you guys comment below and take a second to like and share this broadcast because this is the very first. Alicia Savannah, what up? This is the very first. I need you to hear me. This is the very first talk show about disabilities hosted by a person with a disability. We're about to go see Oprah. I don't know what y'all thought this was, but we on the way. We on the way. So let's get the house rules out the way real quick. 1, no profanity. We don't do that. We don't do that on this show. That's not how we get down. On the get down. This show is not going to be about bashing of religion, any politics, or gender. We don't get down like that. We love everyone and we include everyone. This show is about inclusivity. Is that a word? It don't matter because we about to make it a word. We about to make it a word. Lastly, this show is dedicated to those that have disabilities or those that take care of those with disabilities, but it's also an encouragement, enlightenment, and just awareness to show people that although we have our limitations, although we take care of people with limitations, don't let the disability fool you because we rock out. Like, we get down with the get down. I am a living proof. And we're going to be talking about Jesus in the end because he wins. Bars. All right, so we got that out of the way. Are y'all ready for this guest, though? Woo! My guest, this is my girl. And I'm going to tell y'all real quick. So I've never met her in person. Matter of fact, most of my guests I've never met in person. That's favor right there because they take the time out to want to be on the show. But this guest, Ashley, my girl, she's like super dope, bro. Like super dope. And she's gonna be talking about what's the life of a caregiver. Are y'all ready for it? It don't matter because y'all gotta be. Ashley, what up, dog?
Hey.
Thank you for being
Man, you have me hyped. I was like, dang, who's she talking about? Yeah, let's go.
That's how we get down on here. That's how we get down on here.
Oh,
yo, thank you so much for being a guest. Like, you already know, I'm grateful, humble. As soon as I hit you up, you was like, yeah, time, date, let me lock it in.
Yes, absolutely. I had so much fun when you and I talked. Oh gosh, it's probably been a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And then when you hit me back up, I'm like, of course I'd want to have another conversation with you. So
right.
thank
Yeah,
you.
because when I did the podcast with you, it wasn't live. And so we did a little upgrade. And I was like, yo, let's go live with it. Like, let me invite her back again, do it the right way.
I love lives. I mean, you get the full 100% realness.
Yeah.
I stumble on my words. I mispronounce something. You're just gonna get all of it. I cry. I laugh. You're just gonna get it all.
Last week, the doggone house phone rang while I'm over here live. You got it all. That's how we get down.
It happens, but
It
it's life.
happens. Okay, so tell it, because we friends, so I know you. But tell the people who you are, where you're from, and a little bit of the background about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So, my name is Ashley Jackson, and I am a caregiver to my husband, and I was also a caregiver to my late grandfather. He just recently gained his wings back earlier this summer, and I've been on this path for 4 years now with my husband. At first, back, I'll take you back to January 1st of 2017 when he had first proposed to me. And then 2.5 months later, on March 28th, 2017, he was given a diagnosis of a rare cancer. And I was 31 at the time. He was 37. We is something that was not in our scope. It was not something that we thought we were going to be battling, but we decided to battle it together. He still had life to live. We both decided, and so did God. Thank God. Thank Him. And we just been on this pathway to beat cancer and keep it at bay, because we don't have time for that. We decided
Right.
we don't have time for no more tumors, no more negative MRI scans, because we got life to live.
Period.
And being a caregiver, which I'm sure your caregivers can relate to this, and women especially, we tend to put ourselves last. And I kind of think of it as a plate. Like, I kept shoving myself further and further to the edge of the plate, and then finally it got to the point where I fell off that plate. And I call that falling burnout, specifically caregiver burnout. And it manifested itself for me physically,
Really.
emotionally, spiritually. I was not in a good place. And a lot of it had to do with me just wrapping up my whole self into his care. I was his I was the sole breadwinner. He was in treatment from 8 to 10 hours a day, so he literally couldn't work. His work was fighting cancer.
Right. Hospital appointments. Yeah.
So I'm working full time while transporting him an hour and a half one way to his hospital to receive the best care that he possibly could, because of the rarity and the placement of the tumor, which you could see from the pictures that you were showing. The tumor started in his nasal cavity, and it did do some damage, as you saw in some of the pictures that you showed. And the surgery that he had to go through was kind of like my tipping point of my my burnout.
Yeah.
Because the doctors can warn you. They can say, oh, this could happen from surgery, or this could happen from treatment, but you never think it's going to actually happen to you.
Right. Right.
Well, it did happen to us. And a lot of times I say us and our fight, because we're in it together. He couldn't have done it without me. And he would tell you, if he was here right now, he would tell you right now that he couldn't have done it without me. But just that surgery, they had to take the tumor had done so much damage to the nasal cavity area, so they had to remove a part of his left nostril, his left eye, and a part of his skull. So, and this was after chemotherapy and radiation. The tumor had decided it wanted to come back to play, so that's why they had to do the surgery. So then, and I'm still planning our wedding, right? Because he did not want me to postpone our wedding, because that was a huge motivation for him to get the treatment,
To keep
do
going.
all the things that the doctor was telling him to do. because he was like, daggone it, I done finally got this girl to say yes to me. Like I'm getting married to her, you know.
Right. That ain't gonna stop.
So I am our, you know, the breadwinner, the cook, the cleaner, the chauffeur, and our wedding planner. So I'm doing all of the things, not really necessarily thinking about myself,
Yeah.
and just making sure that he gets to see our wedding day, because that was a big fear of mine, me planning this wedding with and for someone that I might not actually get to see the day of our wedding.
Right.
But in the pictures that you showed, we did make it to our wedding day, thank God. We did have some big complications after our return from our honeymoon, that we had to deal with and kind of think about. And we had to have another surgery. So they had to go back in and dig in there some more because of the scans that we had done after our honeymoon. And they removed some more of his skull bone. And then they had to go into his brain and take some of his brain as well.
Mm.
So we're talking, he's 38, 39 by this time. So he's had a lot of stuff done to his body, which I'm sure you can relate.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I mean, he's taken a toll physically, mentally, emotionally, because the first thing you see when you are talking to someone is obviously your
Right. The
eyes.
physical. Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at the face, your eyes, and
Yeah.
he's had to deal with a lot of just getting his self-esteem back up over the years to you know it's okay. Like, people don't know your battles. They don't know why
Right.
you have those scars. And I encourage him and, remind him of that.
Yeah.
Um, so I put so much of me into making sure he's okay that I wasn't telling myself those same things. Like, my scars are internal.
Right.
Like caregivers, we bundle all of that up because we don't want to show our loved one that we're taking care of um those battles that we're going through. They don't
So
need.
how did that affect you? Well, first with um seeing your husband battling so much, but how did that affect you physically, um with dealing with your husband, but then also trying to like save face?
mm, yeah. So my caregiver burnout manifested itself as migraines
Mm,
and stomach ulcers.
really?
And I actually mentioned this. I also wrote a book about my caregiving
We're gonna
experience.
have to get into that for
Yeah.
sure.
But I did write a portion in the book where I described myself like laying on this cold hospital bed and like, girl, what are you doing? How
Yeah.
did you get here? And it really, just, I was in pain
Mm,
physically, internally, and just, it was hard. I had to change my thinking. I was angry, which I'm sure a lot of caregivers can relate to. And I thought I was angry at him, but I wasn't. I was literally angry at the cancer that had invaded his body. And I just wish I could take it out and punch it.
right, right,
I was
right.
like, I feel like that's what would relieve so much stress if I could just
Yeah,
get a hold of it and
right.
punch it. But it's hard when you find yourself kind of trying to catch your breath, come up out, of a drowning situation. And I my whole platform now is just trying to tell other caregivers that you
Right.
are allowed to take a step back, breathe, and think of yourself first.
So
Uh,
how long? Because I mean, it seemed like in retrospect the process of the diagnosis, from the first diagnosis up until the third one, how long was that process for you as a caregiver, realizing that you're tapped out? Like, okay, I need to take time for me, because if I hear anything else, or if I wake up another way, then I'm just gonna lose it, and I want to be able to take care of my husband.
Right. So I would say probably that first major surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about 9 months after he had been diagnosed. Actually, it was 9 months to the day that he had had his first major surgery. So he was diagnosed on March 28th, 2017. He had that first major surgery December 28th of
Mm-hmm.
2017. And I would say then that was I almost fainted when I walked into his
Really?
hospital room. Like I said, the doctors can warn us, they can mention these things may happen. You don't really think it's going to happen to you. Like, oh,
Right.
what's that percentage? Like 1 in 1 billion, so just it was very overwhelming. I just thank God my mom was behind me to kind of catch
Right.
me. Um, but that's when I knew, like, when I could get him, you know, more stable, like, with obviously with the hospitals and doctors' help,
Yeah, of
he
course.
became more stable. I felt like I needed to do something or else I was going to go crazy. I didn't know what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't know what that looked like. And I do describe a scene in my book that I talk about one of my not knowing what I need to do for myself. But it was crazy because one of my friends, like 3 days after his surgery, she had reached out to me and said, "Hey, I feel like I need to come pick you up from the hospital and take you out of the
Wow, that's
hospital. Can
nice.
I take you somewhere? Like, I just feel like you need to get out. Something's telling me that you need to get out."
That's
And
deep.
I credit her to this day, and I thank God that he dropped something in her mind, her soul, to come get me, because that was like a turning point for me where I was like, okay, I can be allowed to do this. I can
Mm-hmm.
leave his side for a couple hours and
Yeah.
everything will be okay. Like, I don't
Right.
have to be there 24/7. I can think about me. Um so that was a turning point. And it wasn't like, okay, the very next day, all right, I'm booking a pedicure
Right.
appointment, and
It
like
was overtime.
it's overtime, and I still have to work on it. Even
Yeah.
3 years later, I'm
Right.
still having to schedule self-care time or else it doesn't happen.
Did you guys ever have like that real conversation, like, okay, listen, I know you're dealing with, your situations, babe, but listen, I'm over here about to lose it. Like, I'm losing it. And how was he ever, understanding, or did it take him a little time to, like, but what about me?
I like how you said that. No,
Good.
no, I did not. Um, I did not want him to know how I was feeling because he had so much on him already. I just
Yeah.
felt like that would have messed with him. He would have felt bad. Maybe he wouldn't have taken to the treatment well or the surgery well. He did not need to know any of that from me in the
Mm,
moment. But I will tell you, he now knows because when he read my book, this man doesn't read often at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
But he
yeah.
read my book in 2 days
Wow.
and he came out tears, just sniffling. He said, "Ashley, you never told me about your full caregiving experience with me. How come?" And I said, "Because when you're in that chair for 8, 10 hours a day, you don't need me. You don't need me
Right.
doing all that. If I felt like a tear was about to come on, I walked out of the cancer treatment room that you're sitting in, and I would go out in the lobby and find a nurse. There was always one or two nurses that I could look at, and they knew I was about
I need
to
my moment.
I need
Right.
my moment, and they would usher me into a different side room or whatever. And that's where I cried. Or, he's always like, why do you take such long showers? That's why sometimes I take extra long showers, because I'm in there crying from the
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah. Man, that's so deep. So let's like delve into your
Oh, hey,
book.
Miriam.
Hey Mary, I love you. And I saw every time it's I love you too. So let's delve into your book. So what first of all, what's the name? What's the title of your book?
Yes, my book is Lost, Travel, Found. And it's basically a memoir of the last 10 years of my life. So I call myself going on this grief journey. I've had, a sudden loss. I've taken care of someone that has gained their wings through their caregiving experience. And then I've had that gradual, like the loss of a life that I thought I was going to have. So I wanted to kind of put it all in this like book where I told my love story to my dad, to my husband, and how I took my caregiving experience and went from the ashes and turned into a phoenix at the
Mm,
end, and how I have been able to turn my mess
that's
into
deep.
a bless situation,
Yes. Bars.
and helping my fellow caregivers, helping people that are on their own grief journey, letting you have a voice when you might feel speechless. I am here to help. I
Yeah.
let you know you're not the only one. I wish I knew someone at the age of 30, 31, when
Right.
Troy got my husband got diagnosed. I wish I would have known someone that was young like me, that was taking care of a spouse, or soon to be spouse. I didn't have anyone to relate to. So I just wanted, people to feel like they're seen and heard. Family caregivers are becoming younger and younger.
Right.
We're not waiting until we're 60, 70 years old to take care of someone that's 80 or 90 who has lived
Yeah.
a long life. We're starting to find family caregivers are starting as early as maybe 2021, because
Right.
their parent is sick, or they, their fiance or husband or wife or whatever had a tragic accident, and now we find ourselves in a blink of an eye
Right.
having to take care of someone at such a young age. So I just wanted others to feel that they weren't alone, because I felt alone. And then explain like my purpose behind this beautiful um, business that I launched in the middle of pandemic.
Yeah.
I know I'm crazy. I like a challenge. I like a
Right.
little fun, a little adventure.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
So, Timeless Dream Events is something that I launched in July of last year to help my fellow caregiver and anyone really who wants to celebrate life and love. And helping my fellow caregiver is my main purpose. Timeless Dream Events is the vehicle that takes me there.
Mm-hmm.
And my book, Lost, Travel, Found, is just another extension of being able to help my fellow caregiver and other people that are on their own grief journeys.
I love that because a lot of people they de-
Buzzing. Hey, you get it all.
here we go.
You get it all.
Get it all. Wow. That's my dad. Now he's sneaking in.
I
Like we
love
didn't hear the friend.
it.
Y'all give me okay. So I think caregivers, first of all, they're so unrecognized. And I feel like they're probably the most heroic human beings ever because you're literally detaching from your everyday life to fully take care of an individual that can't do it.
Mm,
Like, that is such a selfless act ever. It takes a huge heart to be a caregiver and to even if you don't want to, you still do it. Sometimes it's an option, other times it's not really an option.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you're still doing it is huge, and you really take away from who you are to become someone else's help. And I think that's like so huge. And I definitely want to give you your accolades and praise for even taking on that role, not just for your husband, but also for your father, because you had to do it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, it was like a back to back thing. And I know for sure the experiences were different. Nevertheless, you still did it. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to give you your praise and your accolades. And I love the fact that you turned what kind of could have taken you out into something to push you forward and to help others. I think that's super dope. Because a lot of people would probably stay in that rut, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I always think, okay, I in retrospect, I'm like, how did I do that?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I say like my dad. Like I just remember my dad, what he instilled in me to keep pushing, you know, chase your dreams, go after what you want in life, find your purpose in life, everything else will fall into place. For the longest, I had no idea what that even meant until I
Right.
found my purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of us find our purpose within our pain, which sucks at the time. And you're like, gosh, God, why? Why do I have to go through all of this?
Right. Why?
But it leads you to the purpose at
Yeah.
times. And I think how you receive it, how you deal with it, it wasn't a walk in the park for me.
Hmm.
I didn't start grieving my dad until almost 5 years after he had passed.
Wow.
So, people are different, and just remembering whose I am, not just heavenly, but earthly too.
Right.
I am my father's legacy. I am also my grandfather's legacy,
Hmm.
and I don't want to, muddy their names.
Right. Right.
So, they push me, even, just in spirit.
Yeah.
But then I have my husband who I still think God I can look at each day, because
Hmm.
we didn't know if that was going to be the case.
Right.
And so many people that get diagnosed with cancer, even, cancers that aren't necessarily rare, a lot of them don't get to wake up one day.
Hmm.
So we take each day as a gift. I know it sounds cliche, but we really just try to enjoy the most that we can. We try to laugh,
Yeah.
have fun. We have our days. I mean, everyone does. But we just try to keep it moving because of how our past, has been.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I think it's super dope finding the optimism in what could be detrimental. Like I think that's really dope. So what is this WWE like love that you and your husband have?
Oh my goodness. He actually was a semi professional wrestler
Wow.
before, like when we were just, we had just met each other, we're friends, blah, blah, like not even romantically connected
Yeah.
at that point. He was a semi professional wrestler. I always thought that stuff was stupid.
Right.
I'm sorry, babe, if you're watching.
Love
Um,
you.
I was like, this is so stupid. But I'll tell you what, on when we did start dating and he took me to my first WWE live event, baby, I was hooked.
Really?
I said, hold on. You mean to tell me this whole time there was all these fine men that
Okay.
wrestle half naked and
Have
I get to
with
just look?
right.
I don't have to touch, but I get to
Just
look?
look right.
You should have
Sign
brought
me
me
up.
here a long time ago.
Sign me up,
And-
y'all.
but it's just funny to see, and then just watching him, because he he didn't pursue it anymore than what he did. And but so when we go to WWE live events and seeing how he just glows when he's there, I
Yeah.
mean, my mom and I bought him a replica
A
championship
belt.
belt.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And you would think this man actually was in the ring and had won it. Because now when we go to live events, he carries it and he carries it proudly.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
he'll be lifting it up in the air. And,
Right, right, right.
so he, just to watch him in his element and the love he has for the sport.
Yeah.
Um, and some of the things that he loves to teach me. I think it's something nice that we can connect
Yeah.
with together, but also separate because
Right.
he'll go to an event without me, just like travel. So travel, he never did that growing up. Whereas my parents had us going everywhere.
Right, right, right.
So when I first introduced him to travel, he's like, "This is silly. Like, why do we have to get on a plane and go to this? This is taking too much time. It's too much money."
Yeah.
From the first trip that we took together, he's been hooked ever since, and he's got his own bucket list of places he wants to travel to.
Hmm.
Right now, we're working on all 50 states. He wants to go to all 50 states,
That's dope.
and yeah, and but that's also something that we can enjoy together or
Together.
separately because I love to go on solo trips as well. um,
Listen, right?
and
I
he'll
love
go
you,
on
babe, but
and he'll go on a solo trip. His most favorite city in all the world is Chicago.
really?
And that's okay. Thank you. Cause I'm like, okay, okay. I used to go
Okay.
there a lot as a little kid because I do have family that lives in Chicago. So to
Hmm.
me, I guess the magic is not there for me.
Right, like,
So I'm like, all right, that can be your solo trip for the summer or whatever, because I'm cool on Chicago.
right.
But, just little things like that can make a big difference.
Hmm.
Is something that's enjoyable for us. But yeah, I surprise a lot of my family and friends with the WWE thing because
That's so
I used to say
funny.
that's so silly. Like, why do
Right,
people watch that? Now I'm watching Friday Night SmackDown and
right.
Monday Night Raw with him, and going to the pay-per-views, the
I
special
love that. I
things they have. Oh my goodness. But
love
it's
that.
fun and it's nice to bond. And
Yeah,
um, there was this past one, it was the first time that we've been to a live event in almost 2 years
yeah.
because of COVID. So
Pre-tent, yeah.
there was just this anticipation and all this like excitement. You could feel it in the air when everyone was going through the doors.
Yeah.
So like just it's like a normal like feeling, I guess, if you go to like an OSU game or a Raiders game or
Right,
whatever. You just
right.
feel that excitement in the air.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
I
feed
love
off
that.
other people.
I love that. I'm definitely shocked that you in the WWE, but that's your thing. And like that's gonna last forever.
Yep.
I definitely love that. Um Please tell people where they can find your book as well as where they can get connected to your business.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a little bit of everywhere. um, but so you can find me at www.timelessdreamevents.com. And you can also go on my website to uh, purchase my book. And if you go to my website, you actually will get a signed copy from me. And you can find my book on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Uh, uh, I'm forgetting one. Target, all online.
Okay.
Uh huh. And uh, yeah, so it just if you do purchase, I highly just appreciate any and all feedback, especially those reviews. Those 5-star reviews are beautiful and wonderful. You can find me on, Timeless Dream Events on Facebook, Instagram, um, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, TikTok. I had to get on TikTok for, these
Right.
younger
You got to keep
generation
up.
that's trying to get married now. I gotta
Whew. Right.
get on TikTok. Don't know what I'm doing half the time, but I'm there.
Right. Right. We in here.
Yep.
Hey,
Oh, you too.
Ernestine. Love you. Listen, thank you so much for being a guest again. I definitely we friends, but I still don't take it lightly. Please, those who are caregivers or those who aren't caregivers, just people in general, connect with her. See what she's doing, support her. Black business, like that should say that by itself. Support a black business. Just that alone should just make you want to just type in that website and get everything that she got going on. Just hook it up.
And
Thank you again, Ashley.
I just want to say, on that note, even the most encouraging thing that you can even do that's free is like something, follow it.
That's it.
You don't even understand how much that can even boost your ratings, or you going up to the close to the top or the top.
Mm-hmm.
On the algorithm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So just a like, a follow, that's even appreciated.
Yeah.
I did want to mention real quick, I know we're running out of time, but
no, you're good.
I do have a Facebook caregiver support group for current and past caregivers. So if you are on Facebook and need a support group, it is called Caring for the Caregiver. Treat yourself, because I believe that caregivers need to realize that we can be treated right, and we need to make our own time to treat yourself.
Yes.
So, Caring for the Caregiver. Treat yourself on Facebook.
That needs to be a shirt.
I know, right?
I'm just putting that plug out there. That needs to be a shirt.
I know, right? I know. I've been thinking about
for the caregiver. Treat yourself. The treat yourself got to be like, treat yourself.
Definitely.
I love it. I love it. Thank you again so much, Ashley, for gracing us on this beloved stage. We appreciate you. Everyone, please go follow her. Like she said, it's nothing to like, share, comment, just support. www.timelessdreamsevents.com. Get the book, because you about to get a signed copy. Like, that's priceless. She did her Johnnyana Hancock. Not Johnny, but Johnnyana Hancock. Yo, thank you again so much. I love you. I'm going to holler at you after this is over. Okay. I'm going to put you in the back.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you.
Yo, listen. I just be appreciating the people that come on and share their story and are real, and just lets people know that we're out here and we're not letting our condition or our limitation or the things that we do or don't do stop us. Thank you, Ashley, again so much for being a guest on the show. Yo, are y'all ready for the word value? I haven't did twice. So the past 2 episodes I didn't do it, but we're going to do it now. I forgot. We're going to keep it going. The word value for today is situations may not ever change, but your perspective should. Oh! Situations may not ever change, but your perspective should. Just let that marinate. I love y'all so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. You already know, please like, comment, share, follow me on Facebook at 1 Billion Brave and on IG at Coach Dōmo J. Next week, I hope y'all ready, because we in there, week 8. Holla at your girl when you see me on the street. 1 Billion Brave going live. 10 a.m. Let's go. Gabe, you already know what to do. Get me out of here. Love y'all. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm.